Hey everyone, welcome to the Cast and Spear podcast. My name is John, and today we have something very special, one of my good buddies, Bret Whitman from the SpearFactor, and we're going to be talking over the next couple days about different things in spearfishing to help improve your abilities. Today we're going to focus on ear fixes because I know Bret in the past has had to overcome this, and he's talked to medical professionals and has found a solution. So he's going to share it with us today. Hey Bret, welcome to the show.
Hey John, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks man. So tell me a little bit about like the ear problems that you had in the past.
So the ear problems that I had is just growing up surfing, and I was a dummy. I had a job where I dove literally probably I was at least on the water 5 days a week, probably dove 3 out of those 5 days. And after about 8 years of doing that, one of the things that I did that kind of contributed to my ear issues was I never wore a hood. Like even diving, I don't know if it was like a testosterone thing. We were like, I was trying to dive, see how cold water I can dive in without even wearing a wetsuit half the time. And so I never wore a hood. And you start to get that bone growth, and the water would get trapped behind your ear. I had like 50% closure in one side of my ear, and it was really interesting because when we would go on the dive boat and drive around, I'm facing the cutout on our boat, and I'm facing the port side. So my right ear was the one that had the 50% growth because it had the wind blowing into it and keeping it cold. And so what happens is your body tries to combat that with growing, like closing that off, which is a problem because you get water trapped behind there, and then you get, fungal growth and bacteria growth. And the water stays in there, and it becomes really annoying with like muddled hearing and all of that stuff with earwax and everything. So I dealt with this for years. As far as, I mean, I was out of the water one time for about 3 months trying to get rid of this pesky like ear infection. Come to find out, it wasn't a bacteria infection, it was a fungal infection, and that's kind of how I found out about fungal infections and all kinds of stuff. And on my show, the one time we had Dr. Cyrus Turchinsky, who is an ear, nose, and throat doctor, and he was the one that filled me in on a lot of like what's going on. And he's a surfer as well, what's going on, and how to deal with those issues. So that's like a quick introduction, I guess, to my ear problems, just chronic, itching, chronic ear infections, both bacterial and fungal.
So going into that a little bit more, do you recommend that everybody wears their hood when they're on the boat to and from between dives, or maybe put on their face gaiter that cover their ears? Like what do you recommend for the non-diving piece of it to protect?
Well, for one thing, like, I wore those, I think they're JBL, those earplugs or Docs Pro plugs, the ones with holes made for diving. Um, I did that for a while to help keep your ear canal dry. Is the best thing you can do is keep your ear canal dry, right? And you don't have that choice when you're diving. So what it is, the cold water is what does it. It's the cold water that comes in there and causes those grown growth, causes that problem. So wear a hood. I mean, now I wear a hood all the time because I feel like I'm on borrowed time. And that surgery where they drill out your ear is not fun from everybody that I know that's had it. Um, but yeah, wear a hood. And when you get out of the water, you can throw a beanie on or something if it's wintertime, and just keep your ear and that canal warm. Uh, yeah, that's the biggest thing. And then after you're done diving, one thing that really changed everything for me that I have to do religiously is anytime I'm in the water, anytime at all, especially here in Southern California because the water's disgusting, um, is I do my 50-50 vinegar and alcohol. And the alcohol kind of dries the ear. Sometimes it can dry it out, so you got to be aware of that too. But the vinegar keeps the acidity up, and it basically stops any kind of fungal growth. So what was happening as the years went on, I was getting these infections, and regular antibiotics weren't working. Well, it's because I had a fungal growth, and I was deployed one time, and I kept, you're sweating. You get it from sweating too. Like when you train jujitsu, you sweat and you get water in there. Same thing caused fungal growth. And so I just started putting, I had this idea of putting like athlete's foot cream in my ear, which actually worked. But they have drops, Lotrimin drops. And then also, besides that, if you can't get access to that, because it's kind of hard to find the stuff, just use vinegar twice a day or 4 times a day, whatever it is. and it'll knock it out really quick. But you got to do that after every single time you've been in the water, especially surfing, where I don't wear a hood when I surf. I wear earplugs when I surf. That's another thing you can do to kind of, slow that. And some people are more susceptible to it than others. But for me, it's like wear earplugs surfing, and do the drops after I get done diving and surfing, and wear a hood. That's the biggest thing.
I think that's perfect. Well, guys, if you have issues with your ears, I hope you take some of these fixes, try them yourself, talk to a doctor if you need to. And if you are into the podcast game and you want to listen to more about spearfishing specifically, go check out Bret's podcast at the SpearFactor. He also has an awesome website. And tomorrow we're going to be chatting about how to stay in shape for diving. Thanks for coming on the show, Bret. Hey, just one more thing before you go. Would you find it helpful to get a few fishing tips and tricks sent straight to your inbox? Well, if so, head over to castandspear.com/join and sign up for our weekly newsletter. Tight lines.